Hey guys, this is BowTech Avid Hunter. I'm working on a stabilizer for my bow and my kid's bow. I already started on them, but I'm gonna show you what I got here. I haven't broke down the math yet, but I believe it was 37 bucks for all this stuff. I should have 6 end caps, but freaking the lady at the store didn't put the 6th one in the bag, so I got to go back and pick it up. I'm actually going to pick up some more nuts and washers. I'm just going to use the washers to center the bolt in here when I use JB Weld. It's a different type of brand than JB Weld. It's DevCon. The reason why I got it is because it's got these nozzles on it that automatically mix it for you. So when I empty this out, I can get JB Weld and it worked just the same. I just got to make sure after I use it that I clean these tubes out and make sure everything's nice and clean when I stick the JB Weld in here. But it's still pretty good. It's got a 5-minute set time. It's waterproof, everything, so it's gonna work for me. I'm using aluminum tubes. They're square tubes, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, these are steel bolts, but they're machined fine thread. They're the 5/16 by 24, and I believe they're an inch. Let me see real quick. They might be an inch and a half. I was looking at the ones at the place and they were out at 3/4, but I think that these ones will be better. Just because of the way that I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna sink them in a little bit. Yeah, they're an inch. But the way I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sink it in a bit, so maybe I can fit another nut on the inside, hopefully, to make it a little bit more sturdy by having 2 contact points with the JB Weld, so that it's not gonna move around much or break loose or anything like that. But basically, I pre-drilled my small holes after I marked it where I wanted it. It's not the best. It's the best you're going to get without a drill press, though. So basically what I did is these are 3/4 inch tubes. So I marked it at the half point, and then I marked it. Where's my little screw? Oh, here it is. A flat top screw, it doesn't matter, flathead, Phillips, doesn't matter, just as long as the point's nice. You mark it, you put it on there, and you hammer it down. Okay, that's going to give your starting point. And the reason why we use a small drill bit, which this one broke because it's real small, you want to go real small, but you don't want it to be too small to where you're not going to be able to drill in there, and have a nice hole. This is a 532 drill bit, and it broke. I started using this one after I broke that one, and it's a 3/16, so they both will work. The reason why you're going to use these ones, you don't want to go much smaller than this, because the reason why is because you got to have this bigger drill bit get that nice hole to continue going after you've done the pre-drill, because you don't want your hole to move. So you use the bigger drill bit after, so that your hole doesn't move around. And that's kind of why you tap it with the screw and a hammer, so that wherever you mark it, it's not going to move around. Then you use a smaller drill bit after that, and then you go to the bigger one, because you don't want your hole to move. If you try to drill on here with just the biggest drill without marking it at all, you're going to have holes all over the place. Kind of like this. You can really tell that those are all over the place. This was without me actually, marking it. I just did this to see what the metal would do when I drilled through it. If I could drill through both sides. It didn't work drilling through both sides. It made them off center. I didn't mark it to see how straight I can get it for the first few. Then I started marking it and trying to go straight through, and it still didn't work. So then I started doing one side at a time, and it started out all right, but it didn't get as good as I wanted it. So I know I needed to mark every individual hole and do it at the mark it at the halfway point, because at first I wasn't doing it at the halfway point. I was just, you know, hoping that it'd be perfect, and that's just not the way to go. I was just trying to do it fast on this first piece, so I wasn't trying, obviously. But when I started working on these ones, I started pre-marking them, pre-drilling, and everything. I think it's this one here that I got the bigger size holes on the back side already. I plan to finish these other two and this other side, but this bigger one right here is 34 inches, and then this one in the middle right here, my second side stabilizer, is going to be, I believe it's 20. And then this smaller one for my son, so that it matches mine, is going to be 10 inches. And I haven't determined the weight for any of them yet. I'm obviously going to, you know, make them first, put the bolts in the end, and JB weld it and make sure they're all nice and sturdy. I'm going to fill it with spray expanding foam. Now, the reason why I'm using the foam after the fact and not before I drill the holes is because I want to make sure that I have no air pockets whatsoever completely through the entire stabilizer. Now, a lot of people have been using them, that, you know, a lot of rubber based stuff, and some have been using the spray foam too, but they don't have holes. They're just using a circular PVC tube and then having it upright and then spraying down the tube. Well, you're going to create air pockets like that. You're not. I don't care what you do. You're going to have some air pockets somewhere in there, and it's just not going to be the best. I mean, it'll work pretty good probably still, but, you know, I'm trying to make sure that I get every little tiny bit of space in this square tube as I could possibly get, because I want it to be really, really, you know, just stable. And that's the whole neat reason for the name stabilizer. But I want to take all the vibration out of this aluminum tube with that spray foam. So we're going to do that after we spray the spray foam in there. Obviously, I'm going to tape and duct tape the backside holes, and then I'm going to start spraying each individual hole, you know, probably every other hole, and spray it in, making sure I get every bit of space in the stabilizer with spray foam. Now, the way that I mark this, because you're not going to be able to mark this aluminum tube without, like, maybe a permanent marker you could probably get away with, but I didn't really want to put a permanent marker on it because I gotta, you know, paint it. So basically what I did is I took this masking tape and I put it on both sides that I wanted to, you know, pre-mark. And then after I got the masking tape on there, I had razor blades to cut off the excess tape, because you don't need the excess tape on there. It's just going to make it harder for you to mark it, and you might rip up the tape or something like that. So then you mark it, use your tape measure, mark it. I got, let me think of what I spaced these holes. I think, here, I don't like this tape measure. I got another tape measure. Let me see if I can stand this up real quick. Stand my phone up against this drill real fast, so you ain't looking at nothing. But let me see. I got it an inch off the end, so you don't, dang it, you don't want to go all the way to the end, because you're going to do different things with the ends of the tubes. So I got an inch off the end on both sides. So a whole inch on both sides of the tube, you do nothing with it at all, because you're going to do something with it. You're going to have weights in the end of the tube on one side, and you're going to have a bolt that screws in to your bow on the other end. So you got to have an inch gap on both sides. And then, let's see here, I got Just not even a quarter of an inch for the hole. And then how far do I got them spaced? Got them spaced.
Really awesome.
A third of an inch. I got each hole spaced a third of an inch. So, you can do it how you want to, but this is the best you're gonna get without a drill press using the square tubes. You can't even do this with the round tube, aluminum tube or PVC. You're gonna have one hell of a time trying to do this as good as I'm doing it now. Maybe not this one, but all these other ones. You can see that they're not too far off. Here, let me put it down. But they're not too far off from one another. One might be set up a little bit more or down a little bit more, but I mean they're the best you're gonna get. You're not gonna get any better with just using a drill. That's the best you're gonna get. I mean, if you want to take it and get it machined by someone else, then pay them some money. I mean, go for it. But then again, you're starting to, get up into the, the price of a real stabilizer. So what's the point? This is why it's do it yourself. This is not call someone else to do it for you. So I'm just telling you how I did it. But I haven't figured out how I'm going to set up the side stabilizer yet on a bracket system. Off of the front, obviously, because I got a BowTech, so I don't have that Matthews side, spot to put the stabilizer on or anything like that. So I don't know how I'm going to do the bracket yet for the side. I'm thinking about a couple of different things, but when I get it done, I'll show you guys what I did and how I did it. But these little end caps here, they're for furniture. They're not for these aluminum tubes, but they fit directly over. They don't go in. They fit directly over the end of the tube. So that's what I'm going to use on both sides. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill the tube completely up with foam. And then after I'm done, I'm going to dig out the foam over here to put in the weights. And what I'm going to use for weights is fishing lead weights, okay? So they're sinkers for fishing, and that's what I'm going to use for my weights. So I haven't determined what I'm going to have in weight yet for each stabilizer, but I'll figure out. I haven't even bought them yet. I'll tell you the price of them later on too when I get it all, put together and figured out. But then you got your bolt in this side, so I'll have to dig out the foam again, dig it out, make sure it's enough to get a nice bit of thread into the bow so that it doesn't mess with the bow or the stabilizer. So I'm thinking about there, 1/2 inch both ways. So I'll JB weld that in there like it is right now, but obviously straight, nice and perfect, all the way center. That's another thing that I'm going to use the end caps for. That's why I got this this other drill bit here. It's a 1964 drill bit. It's not exactly 3/4. I believe it's slightly bigger than the screw, which I think is a 1/4 inch screw. Or no, it's 15/16. My bad. Sorry. But it's not the perfect size. It's a little bit bigger. I'll drill a hole directly center of the end cap here. I'll show you that when I do that too. I just didn't show you what I did with the stabilizers because I already worked on them and I didn't catch the video. I was busy. But that's why I plan on getting washers that are exactly the same size as these end caps. So when I go back in there and grab that 6th end cap, I'll grab a washer that fits directly over this perfectly, and then I'll have my center hole. So I'll probably use a little small drill bit, or whatever drill bit fits in the very direct center of the washer perfectly, and drill a perfect center hole. Then I'll use this drill bit to make it bigger. It's only plastic, so you got to go, nice and easy with it. Don't be trying to force it through or anything, because you're just going to mess up the end cap. So take your time. Then I'll set the end cap on here. Well, actually, I don't think I'll be able to do that actually with the end cap. I'll have to dig out the foam, put the bolt in there, put the JB weld in there, and then have this upright with the end cap with the hole in there, with the screw sticking through the hole perfectly, so that it'll keep it nice and straight. That's the only way I can think of making the bolt straight. And then once I'm done with that and the JB weld sets, I'll put a nut on it, screw it down in there. It fits pretty easy, so I can spin the nut in there, and then once it gets to this very end point, I'm going to make it nice and level and flat with this, and then I'll JB weld that. I'm going to fill, after the JB weld sets on the first part of the bolt, I'll spray foam it again, and then let it all set, let it dry, and then I'll dig out just enough for that nut, just enough for the nut on the top, which will be about halfway down. And once it's like that, you'll dig out just enough foam for that nut, and then you'll screw this nut on to where it's nice and level with this, nice and flat, so that you can get that end cap on there, and then you can JB weld that nut perfect to where it won't move neither. There's your 2 contact points for your bolt, so it won't move. It'll be nice and stable, and then you'll have that little bit left over, like that much, to screw into your bow, and that will be done. I'm about to start drilling these holes on all these pre-drilled holes to the bigger size now. And then after I'm done with that, I'm going to spray the foam in, let that dry. Let's see how long it says it's going to take. Let's see. Instructions. Handle responsibly. Plan, prepare, practice. Wear gloves and protective eyewear. Okay, yeah, that's not what I need. I need directions. Mist water to speed cure, but I'm not going to be doing that. I just want the cure time where tack free 15 minutes, cure 8 hours. Okay, so I got 8 hours. And the can actually seal itself shut. So gotta really understand that when you get done spraying this stuff, a lot of people, like, they'll use spray paint and they won't think about the fact that spray paint will dry and then you can't spray no more after you do that. So usually what I do when I do something that involves like spray paint or this spray foam or JB weld or anything that dries and you can't no longer use it, I'll clean all the parts on the outside so that it can still work after. I mean, just try to do your best to clean it and you'll be able to use it the second time. So that's what I'm going to have to do with this foam, because I'm going to use it. Yeah, 3 times. Let's see. Yeah, so you got a nozzle here that just screws on the top. So when you get done, directly when you get done spraying these tubes, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to unscrew this, take it off the top, clean this tube out as good as you can, the best that you can. I don't know how you'll do it, but however you do it, hopefully you get it nice and clean so that you can use the spray foam again. You have to clean down in here, right down in there. You have to clean that real good, because if you don't, it's not going to work again. You're going to have stuff stuck in there, and it's not going to work. So just make sure you clean it real well, and then you'll be able to use it 2 or 3 times if you don't use it all the first time. I haven't sprayed any foam in these tubes, so I don't know if this can is enough. Hopefully it is. But I believe it was $37 without more nuts, a washer. I'll probably just need 1 washer. Well, actually, I probably need more than that. I believe that I'm just going to get 10 washers and 10 nuts. They're not that expensive. They're real cheap, like maybe 16 cents a piece. Not that expensive. I'll get them just so that I have enough and I ain't got to worry about going back to the hardware store. But I'm not going to get the bracket today to do the side stabilizer. I'll get the side stabilizer done, but I won't have the stuff to mount it yet because I haven't made up my mind on what I'm going to do. I'm not going to get the spray paint to spray paint these black. They're going to be matty black, so they're flat, whatever you want to call it, so where they have no shine, just like my BowTech Experience. It's, you know, flat black. It's not glossy or anything like that. So we're going to match up the bows. My son's Diamond Atomic is the same way, flat black. Paint these up. We'll get some flat clear coat. So we'll give them nice 3 layers of clear coat so they don't chip if they get, you know, just tapped by something, because you don't want that paint to scrape off. So get some clear coat. Let's see what else. I gotta put, you know, all the bolts in the ends and put the weights on the end. What I'm gonna do with the fishing weights at the beginning is I'm gonna put them in, like, probably just like a little plastic bag. Make the plastic bag as small as the weights, and just tape it to the very end of the stabilizer instead of putting it on the inside, just so that it gives me that the feel of the weight at the end of the stabilizer before I actually put them in the end and spray foam them and make sure they can't come out. And then, you know, feel how the weight feels, you know, whatever I get to in weight, you know, that'll be how I determine, you know, what weight I'm going to use for each stabilizer. I got something on my screen. And then after I figure out the weight that I want, stick them in the end and spray foam them so they don't move around, and stick the end cap on there. You can glue it if you want, or you can not glue it and then be able to take it off and add more weight, or take the weight out, or do whatever you want. These caps, they fit on pretty nice. I think they might come off after shooting for a while, so I'm probably gonna, you know, put maybe a drip, a dab, a little something bit on the end, just a little bit, just enough to hold it on to the aluminum. Well, it's actually gonna be holding on to paint, but just enough to hold it. That's it. You know, you could shoot the bow 100 times and it'd still be there. If I got to keep gluing it, you know, over and over, if I have problems with it, I'll, you know, put a whole bunch of glue in there and then, you know, stick it on the end. But unless I have problems with it, I'm just going to, you know, put a couple of dabs here and there and hopefully it stays. But besides that, I mean, this is a pretty easy project. You're not going to get these holes perfect, none of them. I mean, well, maybe not none of them, but you're not going to get every single one perfect. So just expect that this is not going to be the perfect stabilizer. It's going to be something that you did yourself and you can be proud of. You know, you didn't use a drill press. If maybe you have a drill press, that'd be awesome. You know, but I don't have one. I have a drill. That's it. I don't have a drill press. So, just try to get them as center as you can, and you know, this is how it's gonna look. You know, it's gonna look like that, all black on the side of my bow. This one's gonna be on the front, and that'll be my target. You know, my target stabilizers. I'll take my son's 10-inch, and I'll probably maybe I don't know, maybe take an inch of this tube right here that I didn't drill through, you know, on this side right here, and make a little end that I could probably, you know, screw on to the end of his stabilizer, and add some more weight maybe to his stabilizer for when I go hunting. I do have a Octane 7-inch Hunter stabilizer, but I don't know. It seems really light to me. It doesn't seem like it does much. I take it off my bow and shoot, and all it really does is just, you know, dampen sound, I think. I don't think it really does anything. But I obviously can't go out there with a 34-inch stabilizer trying to hunt with. So maybe I can use his 10-inch when I go hunting and use a piece off of this one here and add some more weight to the stabilizer when I'm out hunting or something. Or maybe by then when I start hunting, you know, I'll have a different, better stabilizer. You know, maybe I'll buy one, or you never know. Something will happen. But yeah, I'm gonna get off of here. You know, I'm not gonna show you the video of me doing this because I don't have nothing to hold my camera while I do it. But when I get done, you know, I'll show you what it looks like. I'll get, you know, the foam in there and get that all done. Like I said, I'm going to use duct tape on one side, and then I'll have duct tape probably on the top too, but I'll spray every other hole, get all the air bubble or the air pockets out with the foam, and then put down the duct tape if it doesn't start squirting out the holes. If it does, then hopefully I can just go every other hole and, you know, not have to put no tape on it and just spray just enough just to fill the stabilizer so that I don't have too much excess coming out, because I don't want to waste the foam. I still got, you know, 3 stabilizers to fill. So, but the aluminum tube was $18 for a 6-foot tube. It's 3/4 inch aluminum tubing. But any questions, go ahead and leave a comment and I'll answer it, you know, the best I can, and try to give you more help if you need it. But I'm going to get off of here and upload this video and get to work on this.